radiators, heaters, vacuum cleaners. Now, in the 50s, Broadway. We're back in 1990 at the bottom of Burnley Road. And this is Johnny Moore's place. $1995 now. Here we are in the centre of Burnley Road. Have you ever noticed this old wall? An old drywall field wall. Now when this was here, Burnley Road didn't exist. It was a turnpike road. And as you look over here, this was the original site of the St John's Church. And of late, it was of Johnny Moore, Springworks. And would you believe it, the cameraman is Gordon Moore. Here we're stood in Burnley Road, and at one time it was a turnpike road. That's just a rough dirt road. And where the Boar's Head is today, opposite used to be a turnpike house where these holdings are. Pennyhouse Lane, about 1934. Look at the cobbles and the gas lighting. This is Queen's Road Bridge as it was originally, with the Queen Mill on the right, Strawberry Bank on the right. There's not very much room on this bridge for more than one vehicle. It's now 1995. Look at the changes. There's Queen Mill, now Harrison's and Tasker's. This is the junction of Queen's Road West and Whalley Road. The sweet shop there. That was built in 1935 and it replaced an old terrace block. There's the junction and the new shop. And this is the old property. That small lane on the left was actually what became Queen's Road West. Here we are on the same junction, and there's the hospital in the background. Notice the two gate posts. They've now been filled in. The outside market, around about the 20s. Look at the old stalls, and look at it in the 50s. Look at the type of cars, and the lamps, the old rag market. The outfitter, and the prams, possibly Silver Cross. Southwards, established in the 1850s. This is the site of part of the Spring Mill in Broadway, now used by the extension of the town hall. A carrier bag, baskets on the full. Look how people dressed. And the fence stall. This is at the side of the outside market. There was the fish stall. The new outside market is built on the site of the old spring mill, demolished in the 30s. Here they're strengthening the culvert. This is an early stage of construction and the concrete floor being laid. Notice the amount of scaffolding required for this purpose. The weather must have been great. Look at the men. This is the Peel Street side. It's almost coming to completion. The umbrella market was designed at Manchester University. He looks like a foreman. That's one half completed, and you can see the scaffolding on the second half. Nearing completion, people very inquisitive. That's looking from the top of the Odeon, or was. There you can see the fish market and a little bit of the external market behind the town hall. There the brick wall which wasn't erected long. Varnishing, the finishing touches. These stalls are still in use. Sanding. There's the official opening with Alderman Duckworth, who was mayor. This is in 1962. And those are the chairmen of the local authorities: Church, Clayton, Oswald and Rishton. Arthur Dawson, a well-known man, and officials. Go back to Peel Street, notice the sign on the top. That has been done away with now, vandalism. Doesn't seem long since it looked like this. And the whole lot is now complete. Notice the type of dress. Of course, this is summer. As I've mentioned before, the absence of plastic bags. This is quite an eye-catching mural as you approach Peel Street. Aerial view looking down into the finished market. Better on this one, you can see Burnley Road in the distance and no trees on the coppice. Here's the front of the market, not sandblasted yet, but it still looks very nice. Absence of the stalls. It's now 33 years since the last shot. We're now in 1995. Look at the market hall. It's in pristine condition after all the smoke from industry and the chimneys. Notice the fine detail. The upper sections have even been protected by netting to stop pigeon fowling. These new doors are a big improvement. Originally these had wrought iron gates in the early days. Now look at these. In 1899, the rooms on the east side, on the balcony, were free reading rooms for ladies before the library was opened. Now we're coming down to the ground floor. What a grand market we have here. This is Nolan's Stall, a very well-known name, now owned by Ken and Ann Jones. Trickets, well known for their ice cream as well as drinks. That looks good.
Everything going along.
Get strictly on that.
Get what?
Get strictly on that.
Greenwood's cheese, a well-known family name. What a wide selection. And also cheerful.
Are you well, are you Isla?
This man,
Right?
Derek Jobson, is actually Len's son-in-law.
That will be, yeah, fine.
Now we're back to the 50s. Look at Trickets now. Wool, what a crowd. Two interesting points. In 1880, the market was on fire, and in 81 it was flooded because the river was open in those days. Right, can anyone guess where this is? It's in Infant Street, and it was the cameraman's ancestors, arm wars, farriers. This aerial shot was in the 60s, long after the property was demolished. Now Infant Street with the old Belfast roof. Originally on this site was the Infant Street School, which was built in 1840. And here where Garth Dawson's shop was, is where the farriers used to be. We're still on the same corner. This is Infant Street School of 1840. On the same corner as this shop as it is today in 95. Warner Street, founded by Thomas Hargreaves in 1821 to house his key workers at Broad Oak. Originally it was going to be called New Street. It's also the first street to have cobbles in the town. The area of Warner's Arms, but was also the area that the market started, and also behind St James's Church, where the beer halls used to be. We're now in the arcade, a beautiful Victorian design, and the old post office. The River Hyndburn runs under these shops on the left-hand side. This was once Duke Street. It's difficult to imagine that these shops were once cottages for key workers of Broad Oak. On the corner of Holmes Street, where Toymaster now stands, stood the National School, and later Williams the Drapers. It was burnt down in 1910, where 5 people lost their lives, and 2 were sisters, and they came from Oswaldtwistle. Abbey Street, which leads into Manchester Road, replaced a turnpike road built in 1790 by John Metcalfe. The earlier route was by Grange Lane and Hollings Lane. Our picture shows very little change. Most of the shops were originally cottages. This is 1907. In Abbey Street, there's a nice little shop, the Victoriana Tea Rooms. Well worth a visit if you have some time to spare, with dolls, music boxes, etc. Compare this with the present day shopping of modern times. Oh, this is very leisurely. Look into the room with the teddy bears. What a selection. And the proprietor's always very helpful. Still in Abbey Street, the old Oak Tree Inn and Briggs's Yard and the Swan Hotel on the left. And there's the house ahead where the new police station and fire station are built. The new church, the New Jerusalem Church, mine must be the old Jerusalem Church by now, it's due for demolition. And this is the 1980s. It's making way for a new car park. Look at all that carving gone to waste. My goodness. And that's what it used to look like. Look at this aerial view from New Jerusalem, down Abbey Street, to the top of Blackburn Road, and further down past the post office, and into the Palace Cinema, and onto Broadway, and the shop on the corner, the electricity shop. Guess what year this is in the town centre? Heavy fall of snow. It was nearly 2 foot deep. Took ages to clear the pavements. Look at the depth on there. It took till 10 o'clock in the morning to get the buses from the Transbelt depot to the front of the town hall. And this handy gadget for shifting the snow. Well, for chance you haven't guessed, it's 1947. And that is Broadway. And into Burnley Road. Queen's Road. It was deeper at one side than it was at the other. I know it took quite a while to dig out. There's a snowdrift barrow in the gate. I know it took a long while to dig out. The same in the back of the house. And an avalanche over the porch. Yes, it took several weeks for this snow to clear. St. James Street, 1911, and the Carnegie Library. The interior has changed a great deal since these days. This bit of film was shot in 1962. This is the reading room. It's used every day. The racks haven't changed very much, but I hope the books have. Many subjects. And in the reference library, I come here quite often. Very pleasant room. The library itself was opened to the public in 1907. This is the new road over the back of the coppice, the A56. It joins the M65 to the M66. In its construction, they were very lucky that the stone was on the site, so all it needed was putting in the crusher. And they made the concrete on site. There you see Huncote Power Station, as it was. There's very little left of it now. this was in the mid-80s. Well, back to where we started. Avenue Parade is seen from the coppice. I lived down there near that white car and had done for 36 years. It's grand on the coppice and you can see for miles. There's the viaduct, built in 1847. Have you ever counted the archways? Well, there are 21. And the ideal car park. The old Stanley ground. Looking onto Queen's Road, a bird's eye view, onto Queen's Road West and the hospital on the left. The Palace Cinema, as it was, and now an Abbey store. Abbey Street and the area of Victoriana shop. Irons Mill, Woodnook. How about this then? A genuine Lancashire back street, part of Accrington's past. And recent property built on the lower slopes of the coppice. So, that's it then. Accrington. Yes, a grand little town. Steeped in the past, keeping up with the present, and looking forward to the future.